Hey, what's up, Tony? Thank you so much for that. I'm blown away. I'm like listening to you and I'm like, is that me? Like, is that really me? But thank you guys. I'm so excited to be here. But I almost feel like I shouldn't even speak. Like Kim freaking killed it. I feel like if we just like shave her head, like she's me, she can just tell the story. We have the same exact story. Um me and my wife got involved in network marketing back in 2010. And we were looking for something. I was a hotel manager. She was an accountant, and we just had a daughter, and at that time we wanted to have some time freedom. And I was always a hard worker. She was always a hard worker. And we would make more money, but we couldn't find ways to make more time. And yes, Kim, you got to shave your head. Same story. So we wanted to make more time, and what ended up happening was a friend of ours came, showed us something, and we got excited about it. And she saw it more of like an opportunity than I did. For me, I saw it more as a way to take my wife to Hawaii. And me and my wife been in high school. We're high school sweethearts, met at 15 years old, so we've been together longer than we've been apart, which is cool. We've done all different phases from picking her up in pedal bikes in Brooklyn to going to the Lamborghini dealership and getting a brand new Lambo. Um, so we got involved in network marketing back in 2010. We got excited about, taking her to around the world, taking her to Hawaii. And you know, we ended up doing it. We ended up doing it with a travel company, and that experience, coupled with the opportunity, started a whole movement. We got excited about getting out of Brooklyn and going to see Miami, or going to, places in Europe and going to places, that we've always dreamed of. And, because of that experience, we were able to not just meet people that we would have never met, if it wasn't for the connections that travel, particularly does. But we just wouldn't have made the memories either. So I'm just, I wanted to say it like this, right? Because there's so many different career paths that we can take, and I think Kim did such a great job at expressing, the fact that we are business owners here, but we have a different, point of leverage. The compensation plan, obviously, the company amazing too, but also the culture. I've been a part of two different companies that have done over $1 billion in revenue. And a lot of us here have too, and I think that it's safe to say that it's more than just a product and it's more than just a comp plan. It's magic. There's special people that show up, and there's a special sort of energy, to it. And when I saw MWR Life, similar to Kim, I told my wife, I was like, I'm never gonna do this again. I'm done. I'm good. I've gotten every ring. I've hit in every rank, and I wasn't really like, excited about doing network marketing again. Not because it wasn't an amazing industry, but just like Kim, I didn't see anything that I really believed in, as deeply. I didn't find anything that really made me feel like it was good people there, and that I can, trust that the people that I lead there are going to be well taken care of and well, just well, safe. Like how many of you guys ever felt like, there's not a safe place to take people sometimes, and that's what kind of happens in a lot of companies out there, right? It's like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that person, and so, um, when Mehdi was the guy that reached out to me, and he's telling me about, this whole, travel company opportunity thing, and I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? And he's like, he's like, man, I'm a part of this company. I'd love for you, to get on the phone with you sometime. And again, this is from us being in the industry for like 15, 14 years, and then saying I'm not excited about doing it again. There's nothing out there. So when Mehdi came and he asked me about this travel thing, I really just wanted to hear like what his pitch was. I wanted to hear, what his message was. And me and Mehdi spoke on the phone for like 2 hours, and we didn't even talk about the company as much. We just talked about life. We talked about his family. We talked about my family. I was in a gym, and I was just like one of those guys sitting there on the phone talking. And we had a really good conversation. And what I got off of it was, for me, was Mehdi's a smart guy. He's a really smart guy. He's a really smart, talented guy. He's got a great heart. And for all of you guys that live out there in the world, right? We all live in the real world. There's not a lot of people that you can share dreams with or think big with, and talk globally with. And Mehdi reminded me that this industry, specifically in the right company, with the right people, lets you do that. And so we spoke. We didn't really talk too much about business after that. I took a vacation, came back. Mehdi was like, "Man, let me just show you what this looks like on the screen." And I got onto the Zoom, and when he showed me the AI button, I was a hotel manager before I was in the travel industry. So I know the travel industry a little bit more intimately than most people do, because it was my profession, right? So when he showed me this AI button, I asked him right away. I was like, "Who do you guys white label this from?" Right? Like, is it this company or that company? He's like, "No, no, brother, we own it. It's ours." So I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, we own it." I'm like, "So you guys don't like, rent this from some company or somebody that you guys?" He's like, "No, no, the owner decided years ago to develop it on our own." And when he said that, I saw a future. I saw a company with an owner that actually cares about owning our future, not renting it. And I got excited, and so I told Mehdi right away. I was like, "Put me in," and Mehdi was like, "Wait, wait." I'm like, "No, put me in. Like, I want to do this, And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Just send me the link. I want to get started." And he sends me the link like 3 days later after I met Yoni, and I had a great conversation with Yoni. And, I know that's not a traditional path for most people, but Yoni lives 30 minutes from me, and I've been in this industry for a while, and it was an honor. When I got to talk to Yoni, that was the other thing. I really didn't want to meet him. How many of you guys ever met owners that you're like, you don't want to meet an owner again, right? I've had that experience, and I uh I just wanted to keep the magic of what I saw with AI and travel alive. And so I wasn't like looking to meet anyone. But I met Mehdi. I met Mehdi. I'm sorry, I met Yoni, then I met Ilian, and I was in. I'm sold. I was like, I'm doing this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna, build this like nothing I've ever built before. I want to do 10 times more than what I've ever done in the past. And the last thing I really want to say, 'cause there's so much I can say. I'm a Jade. It's awesome. It's great, but we're going to Black Royal, right? That's the goal, right? Um, you know, uh, what I really want to say is this company has done such a phenomenal job in underselling and over delivering every single step of the way. It's remarkable. It's refreshing. It's something that you don't see in the industry. I've never experienced it in the industry. There's always like this thing where, people exaggerate, and then you got to kind of catch up, and here it's not that. Here every single step of the way from, the product and services to the support to the comp to the events to, the executive staff, like everything is absolutely phenomenal. I feel very confident inviting everyone here. As a matter of fact, I feel bad for people who say no. So I love you guys. That's it. That's all I got.